The headlines. A religious leader urges youth to shun materialism. And of course, the question is, what does the Torah say about materialism? If you look at the story of Avraham, the first Jew, Avraham was told by God that I will bless you and increase your wealth, increase your popularity, and give you many children. And so we see, from the point of view of God in dealing with the first and ultimately the paradigm for all Jews, that it's a good thing to have wealth, and it's a good thing to be able to have material. So the question is, should materialism be shunned? And the answer really is a complex one. I'll try to be brief. Maimonides writes in The Laws of Attitudes, and it's based upon the words of the holy Rabbi Rabbeinu HaKodesh in the second chapter of Pirkei Avos. What is the thing that a person should strive for? That which is beautiful for the person who does it and beautiful for others. In other words, what is the Torah goal that a person should strive for? Is to be able to attain those things that other people see and appreciate and want to do the same. So what does that mean? That means that people don't want to be extreme. They run away from extremists. They may appreciate extremists. A person who fasts for weeks on end is given honor, but nobody wants to do the same thing. There are people who sit on a flagpole and try to set records for the Guinness Book of Records. They sat on the flagpole for 40 days and 40 nights. Wonderful. They got their names. They did things nobody else could do. But hardly many people want to be just like them. So Maimonides explains that the human condition has to be a healthy one. It has to always be in balance. There has to be a right side and a left side. If you have a right side and a left side, you can move. If you're only one-sided, you're going to be tipping over, and ultimately you'll collapse. The same thing is true with regards to dealing with your body. If you indulge your body, that's bad, and if you deny your body, it's also bad. And so the person has to create a healthy balance. It's called the golden mean. And the person should not be in a state of extremes. Excuse me. A person must strive to obtain those things that he needs. That's what he has to work for. A person who doesn't pursue his needs is going to wind up ultimately either destroying himself or cheating other people. For everybody needs money to live on. Even the most spiritual needs something to live on. And so a person has to try to find the way to support himself. And in doing so, when you support yourself, you're given blessing by God. And the greatest blessing that God can give a person is to make the person so successful that in a short period of time he can do all that he needs. And if such a person exists, that he can be successful, that in a short period of time he can have all that he needs, then there's something else that comes to play. That person might be able to help other people. And if the person would work a little bit more, he'd be able to support other people in their spiritual pursuits. And that's a great thing to have. And so, materialism by itself is not the way that God intends us to be. For the material is a means to an end. The material is a way to grow intellectually, emotionally, as a person. The material, when you indulge in the material, you become a slave to the material. And people who worship money, never have enough money, are enslaved to their money. They cannot get out of their money for one moment. A person who is self-indulgent in his own passions will also be the same way. He will be a slave to those passions. Only when a person is a master of self that he can say no or yes. Only then is the person really truly free. God doesn't want us to fast, and God doesn't want us not to have nice things. But God wants us to be in a state of control. And so, the true answer is, we shouldn't shun materialism. We should control materialism. Now, how do you control materialism? You do so by self-discipline. Not extremism, but discipline. And what should the purpose of your material be? That you should be healthy, so you could pursue the study of wisdom. And that is something that everybody appreciates and wants to do. Everybody wants to be wise, and everybody wants to be kind, and everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be a healthy, balanced person. And that is a person who has the material, but knows that its purpose is for a higher purpose, and he's not overwhelmed by it. A person can be extremely wealthy and not be a slave to it. But when that's your only pursuit, then it controls you. And so, materialism should not be shunned. The gluttony, the desire for materialism, is what should be shunned. A person needs money. A person needs things to be able to function. But they should never be his master.